Welcome to Skills for Life, a podcast about high-demand jobs that are shaping future opportunities. This show is brought to you by the Northshore Schools Foundation. I'm Dorrian, your host and a North Shore mom. Let's get started. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Skills for Life podcast. We are so excited that you're here and that we get to tell you a little bit about this amazing new show that is going to launch in just a little bit. Today on the show, I have Carmin Dalziel from the Northshore Schools Foundation to just tell us a little bit about the show, the foundation, and what we can expect coming down the pipeline. Carmin, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for doing this. It's exciting.
Oh, I'm excited. So I think we should start by just sharing with listeners, what is the Northshore Schools Foundation? Because I know I hadn't heard of it when we came into the district. And then when I did, I was blown away that we have this amazing organization. So tell us a little bit about it.
First of all, I'm really grateful you think it's amazing. Schools foundations, they exist across the United States, and they're fairly common. They're places where educators and parents and families and the community has kind of stepped up in a nonprofit organization way to support their schools. So schools are usually a public entity, but there's always a ton of things that schools can't do because of the limits of government dollars and there's a ton of restrictions. What is lovely about a schools foundation is that we can provide funding directly to teachers, directly to students, and also just fill in the gaps where possibly schools just can't quite get. So we're just like a booster club for the whole district.
Yeah, that's definitely what it seems like from how I've seen the foundation kind of move through the district, is that gap filling that you're talking about, which is so fantastic. So let's talk about then the Build Skills for Life program. Tell us a little bit about that and why that's a priority for the foundation.
So the Northshore Schools Foundation has three big priorities. One is that we enhance the curriculum that exists in our school district. We know we don't make this curriculum, they do, but we want to help it make it better. We work to inspire learning, teachers and learning. We want to keep our teachers inspired and our students inspired to learn. We have a big initiative about removing barriers for students so that they have full access to their most best ability. And then it's this Build Skills for Life priority. So that's where we spend all of our time and all of our money and all of our resources. The Build Skills for Life priority is about making sure the kids graduate successfully. And what we know is things are different. Things are very different in the world. And there's two phenomena that we found out after doing some focus groups with our community. One was there's not a normal place for kids to learn kind of the good old skills. Like you and I learned how to balance our checkbook and change our oil and, who to call when the fire alarm goes off, things like that. Interestingly, that's a skill that's kind of falling away, but it's also falling away because maybe it's not as relevant.
Right.
So it's an interesting scenario. So that's kind of one part of the Skills for Life. Then the other part about things changing is that the world is changing, and people like you and I who are raising children in this time, we still have in our head kind of what it used to be like, but the career world is changing. The horizon is changing significantly. And we wanted to give kids inspiration to what is out there now. And so I guess I'm kind of walking into, that's where this podcast was born, was the idea that what if we could tell parents about jobs, we're calling it, jobs of the future, but jobs that we didn't necessarily even know about. To be fair, many of our friends are probably in them, but we didn't even know that they existed. And we want to bring that to the public awareness so that you and I, when we're talking about jobs, know that there's so many different things out there that can inspire kids. And when a parent becomes familiar with it, then they're able to make it easier for their students to access. And so our dream is that by exposing people to all those interesting new jobs that maybe we've never even thought of before, that parents might hear, oh, that might be something my student's interested in, and share it with them. And then the dream is that will help them create a path that makes education relevant and makes them more successful. Because there's a lot of things out there that you just didn't know. Like, hey, if I would have just taken that, one more graphic design class, I actually would have probably been in public relations and advertising, right? Just there's so many arms to it. So hopefully we're educating people
I love that. So it's like a combo of helping parents understand what opportunities are available to their kids, as well as what steps maybe they need to take to pursue that opportunity, and also looking at what are the real life skills that they're going to need out in the world.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing. So tell us then what we have to look forward to. What's going to be on the show? What's the setup going to be? Tell us all about it.
Well, our board is working hard to reach out to their network of the world and even beyond, and research and kind of find the most exciting guests that can join you on this podcast, so that you can kind of draw out from them what's relevant. What do we need to know to kind of get caught up? It's going to be fast. It's going to be to the point. It is going to inspire you to want to learn more. It will not answer all your questions, and it is never intended to do that. I know we're talking to guests from Meta/Facebook. I know we're talking to some people at SpaceX. We're in contact with, there's an innovation arm to Boeing that is creating some new things. We're going to talk to some new energy creators, wind energy. What are the jobs that go with that? There's just a lot of stuff out there, and it's going to be all over the board. It will be like mechanic to rocket science. Actually, those aren't always so different, but that kind of range.
That's incredible. I love that. And so can you give us a sense of, because we can't cover everything on the show, and I love that you've made that really clear, like there's no way we're going to cover rocket science in a 10-minute podcast. No. What do you think listeners are going to get out of those 10 minutes?
I'm hoping to just pique their curiosity. Being a lifelong learner is also a life skill, that's something that we really need to encourage. I'd love to create an environment where any of us would say, wow, I didn't know that, and it's interesting, and I want to learn more. So if we can inspire people to go to the next level and start down a path of, I just didn't have any idea. I just learned, I was talking to somebody, I was like, there's a whole career of selling energy that there's only like 1,000 salespeople in the United States that do that right now. How would you even know that? And you would never know. The thing that inspires me is when you can find something a kid loves, because then when they love it, you can kind of go, well, here's how it works. So when I go to like a nonprofit job fair, I think people think I'm going to be like, you save people's lives or whatever, which is very important. But what I really like is, do you like accounting and care about cats? Did you know that, there's a ton of nonprofits out there that need accountants to run their companies? And I know that's kind of a weird thing, but I'm looking for this to provide that, like, hey, oh my gosh, you love, old World War II planes, and you also really love archaeology, and there's this way that I don't know those things. I don't know how all the things go together, but right. I don't have to. The kids do.
I love that, because I think we're seeing a real desire right now for people to love what they do, and a real desire for the next generation to not just punch in and punch out, but like really want to be there. And so if we can provide that inspiration that you're talking about, what a gift to our students. Amazing.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful it will be a diverse enough that we can, obviously we all feel like if we can inspire one person, rock star, good day.
All right, listeners. Well, I hope we've piqued your interest. We are so excited to bring you this incredible podcast, and keep an ear out, because this is just the beginning and we've got more coming your way in just a few weeks. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you'll join us again, and remember to hit subscribe to be notified about upcoming episodes. Join the conversation on our Facebook page, Build Skills for Life. That's Build Skills, the number 4, and then the word life. To learn more about the Northshore Schools Foundation, visit us at northshoreschoolsfoundation.org. Thanks for listening.